Hello there my fellow sim racers, and yes, it's finally gone live. The new version 1.6 build for Automobilista 2 is now live, and I'm going to dive in and find out if this build really is as big as we've all been hoping for. So I'm going to check out the new look, the new feel, and then we're going to jump in on track and find out what the new physics, tyre and suspension models have done to the driving experience. So come and join me in this look at the new version 1.6 for AMS2. And so before we get out on track, I want to quickly run through some of the updated, refreshed and new features and items that this sim racing title has now got. And version 1.6 brings us a fantastic new menu system. It's big, it's bold, it's bright, it's easy to use and easy to understand, and I really like it. Now when you go into the options and you start fiddling around with your hardware, there are several sub menus and they're not always, you know, easy to navigate, but you only do that when you're setting the sim up for the first time, and it's something that a lot of titles suffer from, especially on the PC. But on the whole, the new UI gets a thumbs up from me. But there's some features on here for version 1.6 that are just game changing for me, and it is this little button up here called preset. You click that and all of a sudden now you're taken to another menu, and here you can see is that they've grouped together the relevant cars, tracks, rules and regulations. So it's just one click and away you go. It's just so much easier. So you wanted to dive into a stock car, you click the button and that's it. You get a UI design that matches the theme of the series, and it's dead easy. Look, you've got the relevant cars. Let's just click back. You've got all the relevant tracks. Now what they have done is, if this title doesn't have the correct period or correct track for the series, they'll include ones that they think will work well, which is a really nice touch. You've got all your sessions, your race settings, so you know it'll have the boost button set up ready to go, rolling starts, mandatory pit stops. Yes, you've got all the opponents, all the rules and regulations, everything is all preset. So you literally click a car, click a track, hit start, and you're on the track within seconds. I use this preset option just about 99% of the time that I dive into this sim. Brilliant, made a real difference to me. So back to the main menu. Now the other big thing, and it's in its early stages, but it's here, multiplayer. We're going to get proper ranked servers, we're going to get organized events and a schedule. And how they're going to do that? They're going to be using Low Fuel Motorsport. So AMS2, Low Fuel Motorsport are going to come together as one, and as you can see it's already in beta, so you can go to lowfuelmotorsports.com, sign up for free and get involved. There, you know, the rankings and the events are still in their early stages. It's going to be 2025 when we see it properly integrated, proper progression and ranked events and licenses and that lot. But you know, look at this. Look, I'm filming this in the UK in the morning here, and we've got busy servers, we've got full grids at this early stage. This is going to turn AMS2 around in 2025, and I just can't wait to get involved. I've done a couple of races. It's pretty good. Once you've broken your duck and done it once, it really is as simple as it can be until it's fully integrated. And I think you'll find that's it. Oh, there is an absolute shed load of DLC that's just come out as well, all surrounding IMSA. You know, there's a lot of GT3s, hypercars, LMP2s. I picked up an American track pack because it had Sebring. I'll race anything around Sebring, so I did pick that up, but there'll be links to all the Steam Store DLC in the video description if you want to check it all out. But it's mainly for the, you know, hypercar sports cars, and I'm just not good enough or talented enough to drive a hypercar. So although the cars weren't for me, the tracks were definitely, the American track pack definitely was. Okay, I think I've rambled on long enough now about the look and the new feature updates. Let's find out what this new tyre, physics, suspension, handling model, the enhanced AI, let's see what version 1.6 has brought to the on-track action and find out whether this wait was really worth it. So, come and join me out on track. So here we are, finally out on track to experience what version 1.6 brings to the sim racing experience. Now, as you can see, I haven't opted for the all singing, all dancing sports cars, hypercars, IMSA content, because that's been covered by people who are far more knowledgeable, far more talented than me. So I've opted to go old school. I've always wanted to try these BMW M1 ProCars out, always been fascinated by them, and what better time to try out, you know, a physics and a tyre model update with such an engaging and immersive driving experience that these old school cars give you. They've got no hybrid, no electronics, no nothing. It's just a ton of power being shoved through those rear wheels. And it's down to the driver to make the difference. So out of the box, straight away, the first thing you will notice is the difference between cold and hot tyres. When you start a race off, you will find that you've got cold tyres. You've got to be a little bit, you've got to use a little bit of trepidation on those first couple of laps. First lap especially, because the car will slip and slide. It will break traction really easily. You get a lot of oversteer from the rear because of the cold tyres, but you can feel over the lap, over the course of the second lap, you feel the tyre temperature coming in. You feel the grip building, and that you can feel the confidence and the ability to be able to lean more on that tyre, extract more grip from it, and it's really nice. As we just squeeze by. The other thing that I've found now with this new, tyre and handling model is you can underdrive the car slightly, and that will achieve a better lap time. You can go slower to go quicker, if you get my drift. Before, it was all really like Jeremy Clarkson style, more power, drifting, sliding. And that was the way to do it. You just come into a corner exit, you mash the throttle. The rear end would be, fishtailing halfway down the straight, but there'd be no time penalty. That'd be one of the quickest ways to drive the car around the track, especially with these older cars. That now has completely changed. You need to be more subtle with your throttle application. Just feed the power in slowly but surely. Ride that limit of grip. Use that, the limit of adhesion to get the maximum corner exit, and as a result, straight line speed. It's not perfect. There still isn't a big enough punishment lap time wise if you go balls out, full chat everywhere, but this is such a difference to how it used to be. It's not so oversteery now, and I like that. I like the fact that there seems to be a little bit more finesse involved in driving. I also feel now that the understeer, when you come in too hot into a corner, is more progressive. The car will wash out and understeer, but it's not just straight on. you know, there's definitely more of a feel to it. You feel it just starting to wash out and move across. It's not perfect in all scenarios and all driving conditions, but the change from 1.5 to 1.6 is significant. It can be felt, and you do have to drive the cars in a different way. And fortunately, it's a better way, so it's all good. Also, with the new, you know, physics and the updated suspension and all that up, it's curb use. Before, you could be quite, you know, sort of brutal with the curb use. You could sort of, you know, manhandle a car over all kinds of different curbs regardless of their construction, and it wouldn't really have that much of an effect. You know, you'd get a jolt and a bang, but the car would carry on. Not anymore, especially some of these older traffics, the more classic content where the curbs have a sharper angle and edge to them. Wow, you dive a car in over that curb there and you hit it with the a little bit too much speed into the corner there. You hit that front wheel as you're going in towards the apex, and it will completely unsettle the car. You know, hit it at the wrong angle, at the wrong speed, and it's enough to just throw the car off, you know, completely off. So you have to be, you know, careful with your curb use. You have to have a look to see what the curb is like. You know, is it just a flat sawtooth curb? Is it a painted on curb? Is it a sausage curb? A high edged bank curb? So you have to think about what parts of the track you now use, same as you would do in the real world. And it all just brings to a more immersive, a more engaging racing and driving experience. You have to think about things. You have to look at what the track has in the way of, you know, surface and banking, whether it's, you know, camber, adverse camber, curbing, grass, whoa. You know, you touch the grass, it's all right with, you know, with a car like this on the front wheels, doesn't make a lot of difference. But if you're accelerating and you touch the grass on the rear wheel, that wheel will instantly lose traction. And unless you're quick, you know, you're gonna spin out and go. So you just, all of a sudden now, track limits matter. Oh dear, I love this section of this track. Feel the car gets really floaty there. It's just lovely. You can feel this big old car, the weight of it, that weight transfer there. You just feel the car, you think, whoa. You've got to be careful how much steering input you apply at that point. I just love... Ooh. I love how you have to think in AMS2 now. It's made such a difference as we hack away at the steering wheel there. As for the AI, well, we're playing on, I think it's about 90%, somewhere around that mark. You know, I really could, if I was playing this on my own, I wasn't trying to talk at the same time and be semi-coherent, I'd have it much higher. Because even though they're quick down the straights, they can be a little slow into the corners on the lower skill levels, but they can put up a really good fight. And you will get the occasional AI mistake. You'll see a big puff of smoke or a load of dirt and gravel being kicked up. Quite often you'll come around a corner and see a car facing in the wrong direction. You know, it's just little touches like that that add to that experience, that immersion factor, helps draw you into this virtual world, and I really like that. Right, so we're coming up to the end of our little 10-minute race, so let's try and sum things up, shall we? What do I think? Is it a game changer, version 1.6? I think this update, this build, is as close as you're going to get to a game-changing update without actually releasing a new standalone title. I think the driving experience has been improved to such a degree that, yeah, it is a different experience, and fortunately it's a better experience. You know, the new look to the menus, the integration of Low Fuel Motorsport. I think as we go into 2025, AMS2 is finally going to hit its stride. And I think next year is going to be the year that AMS2 finds its place in the sim racing hierarchy. Oh, I just, you know, as you all know, I've been a fan. You know, I really enjoy the stock car content. I've made plenty of videos about all the different stock cars. I'll put a link to those in the video description. They're well worth checking out because they really are. Oh, the stock cars and the tin tops in this title are brilliant. But again, look how beautiful it looks. You know, we've got the Madness engine. This thing will run on just about anything and everything. They've made significant improvements to the weather, the rain. You know, the way that the track surface rubbers up, loses grip, the way the puddles form, all that has a greater experience. You know, increases the level of experience you get when the clouds roll in and the rain starts to fall. It's just, you know, they've turned the dial up to 11. I really like it. I think anybody who has AMS2 installed or tried it previously, I finally think this is the moment people should retry it, buy it, reinstall it. You know, I think from here on out now, it's just a point of finessing, tweaking, tidying up, just sorting out that final 1% to make this the standout sim racing title on the PC. But that's just my thoughts. That's my impressions. You know, make sure that you get a good, you know, broad spectrum of opinion from all the other sim racing YouTubers out there. But I give it a thumbs up. I like it. Anyway, that's my look at version 1.6 of AMS2. I hope it was worth the wait. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, you know what to do to help me out, so no need for me to mention it. But in the meantime, thank you again for watching, and I shall see you, hopefully, out on track now that Low Fuel Motorsports have integrated with AMS2 for their online service. But for now, bye bye. Happy sim racing.